The housing market in 2021 is flipping out. Lumber prices are crashing while home prices are skyrocketing. In this video, I'm going to share what Brian Buffini, Ryan Gorma, and Mark Zandi have to say about the state of the housing market halfway through 2021. Is there going to be a crash? Where's the crash that we were promised? Let's find out what they had to say in this video right now. Real estate investor Brian Buffini gave a mid-year update on where housing prices are going in 2021. He says that we are not in a housing bubble even though the housing market is hot. Low interest rates, fixed mortgages, increased homeowner equity, and lack of inventory is keeping the market on solid ground, he added. He also brought up the fact that if the market did start to cool down, there would be a second wave of home buyers that would come in and catch up some more houses. So this would increase demand when it would be seemingly going down. These are people that feel like they missed out on buying a house last year. So these people are waiting by the sidelines to get in and try to get a good deal. And I typically agree with what he's saying. I think this is very accurate. There are many people that I know that have paused home buying because they felt overwhelmed when they were trying to buy a house, but they were competing with so many other people and they just kept getting beat out and outpriced. So I think this is very accurate. If home prices did start to decline or slow down at all, I think a lot of people are going to get back in and try to get a house before it's too late to get in on rising home prices. So I do agree with what he has to say about that. We also heard from the Coldwell Banker CEO, Ryan Gorman. He mentioned that a lot of people feel like a lot of investors are causing the shortage of housing right now. But the numbers do not support that. He did say that while there are a number of investors buying up houses, that number is very small compared to the actual people buying houses. It is a very small percentage of the overall market. He did note that this would be something to watch, however. He then followed up by the large number of cash buyers. Many would assume that most of the cash buyers would be investors, but he noted that the large amount of the cash buyers are actually looking for a single-family residence for their own home, not for investing. So what is the actual solution to fixing the housing market so it doesn't flip out? Well, he said the only solution to this craziness is getting more inventory on the market. Lack of inventory is the number one reason causing home prices to soar so much. With the pandemic, housing inventory on the market is at the lowest points that it's been ever before. And add that with the fact that new construction homes haven't been keeping up with the increase in population over the last decade, that's just going to make it even harder and take longer for the market to adjust. I have covered multiple times on my channel that new home construction is way lower than the demand. And currently we are about 6 million homes behind what we need on the market in order to satisfy the demand. And this number has only been increasing year after year since about 2012. Builder confidence is high, but lumber prices are even higher this year. Lumber prices per 1,000 linear foot of lumber reached their all-time high at $1,670 last month in May. But now they have fallen much quicker than they rose. Current lumber prices are just under $800 at $783 per 1,000 feet. So just under a half of what they were about a month ago. So we are definitely seeing a downward trend in the cost to build a house. However, there has been a shortage of building supplies across the board, so prices for everything has skyrocketed. We also heard from Mark Zandi. He is the chief economist at Moody's Analytics. He said that home prices aren't expected to go down anytime soon. They are still expected to keep rising for 2021. However, we will see a slowing growth because double-digit appreciation just isn't sustainable. And he said because of the laws of supply and demand, housing prices are not going down anytime soon. As I mentioned previously, there is much greater demand than there is supply, and that supply issue is not going to be fixed anytime soon. It's going to take years, if not longer, to recover from the shortage of housing that we have. In fact, experts still expect that housing prices are going to hit more records this summer before adjusting. And buyers are not going to get a deal, they're just going to be competing with fewer offers. So that could still mean that you're competing with 10 or 15 other people, because we've seen houses that have 30, 40, or hundreds of offers on them. So anything less than that could still be a very high number to compete with. And so we are seeing the housing market soften. Much of this is because of people going back to work, going back to their normal lives, kids going back to in-person school, and people that were looking through the pandemic are just holding back because maybe they don't want to move out of the city if they have to go back into the office. So that's one part of it. And the other part of it is just that buyers are just frustrated that they cannot get a house no matter how much they offer, how many homes they offer on, and how much they're willing to give up. I know that a lot of people have had to waive their mortgage contingencies, and also waive inspection and appraisal contingencies. And even a lot of times then, it's still not enough because there have been so many cash buyers out there that sellers are more likely to go with a cash buyer than someone that's going for a mortgage. And lastly, experts don't expect the housing market to really slow down until there's a big jump in interest rates. As long as interest rates are down in the low 3s or lower, then buyers are going to be more eager to try to get a house before interest rates go back up. So based on all of the information that we've just gone through from these experts, what do I actually think is going to happen? Well, I pretty much agree with a lot of what the experts have had to say. I do believe that demand is going to remain high and remain very healthy. Even if the market seems like it's starting to slow down, I think there's going to be a second wave of buyers that are trying to get in on the deals. I think we're in for a long road ahead. I think 2021 is going to be a very strong year for home prices, but 2022 is also going to be strong. I do think we'll see probably 5 to 8% increase in prices through 2022, but when you couple that with how home prices have risen 20-30% over the last year and a half, then I think housing prices overall are going to be insane. The next part that nobody's really talking about is that rent prices are going to have to increase substantially. And I've been seeing that in Massachusetts already. Rent prices have gone up 10 or 15% in some parts of the state just to keep up with the rising real estate prices. Obviously, if a home costs 25% more to buy today, then landlords are going to have to increase the amount of rent that they're collecting on these properties if they are investment properties. And even so, when some housing starts to go up in price, then it can tend to affect all of the housing in the area. Because neighbors see that happening and they don't want to miss out on the rising prices, so they're also going to raise their prices. So I think overall, housing is going to continue to be very expensive to get, whether you rent or buy, going through 2021, 2022, and probably several years after. And so those are just my thoughts based on all of the information that I have read over the last couple of months, seeing where the trends are and where they're going, and just kind of knowing an overall of how supply and demand works. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, definitely smash the like button down below, leave a comment, and subscribe for more updates. I'll be releasing updates on a regular basis whenever there's new information to share. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.